The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
Who is Q? The election to end all elections? Political ads finally end on Wednesday, people. All that and more on an all-new Might Be News. What is up, everybody? My name is Taylor Cooper. It's the week of November 2nd, 2020. With me, as always, co-host Kev. What up, Kev?
What up?
Co-host Jackie. What up, Jackie?
Hi!
So, when this episode comes out, tomorrow is election day. The political ads are finally getting ready to be over. It's time to celebrate. It's time to celebrate. We are sponsored by Eunomia CBD. Go to eunomiacbd.com. Use promo code MBN. Get 25% off, free shipping and free shit. Also, for the love of God, go check out the website, mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. The reviews on the website are staggering. People love the new look of it. It looks incredible. There is, we've added text readout for the episodes. We have playlist on the website and on the different pages on the website. For example, if you go to the mbnnetwork.com, scroll down until you see your favorite show, Might Be News or Might Be Brews or Relatable Radio or whatever. You find that show, click on it. One of the first things you'll see is a playlist with all the episodes of just that show. So if you want to hear all just Might Be News, go to the page, click on Might Be News, and it's right there for you. It's literally never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. So we've got a jam-packed show tonight, and I'm just going to get started. Danny's not here. We don't have good news. Like I said, tomorrow's election day. There's really no good news. Anyway, we've flirted quite a bit with politics so far this season. I think it's just because there's so much of it going on. But also during the time period that we were off during the summer, I have been really on a deep dive on various different topics, most of them negative.
Way to be.
Well,
Woohoo!
there's a lot going on. There's a lot of negative stuff going on. And I'm just trying to make sense of it all, right? That's just kind of my way with dealing with it, is just trying to make sense of it. And, some people would much rather just not expose themselves to it, and that's totally okay. The way I handle it is I try to just understand. And one of the things that I've been really trying to figure out is, why is everybody so fucking mad? And before I get into this, because I don't want to forget, I just want to say, happy birthday, Mom. Yesterday was my mom's birthday. Shout out to my mom. She's listening.
Happy birthday, Mom.
I told her to listen because, A, it was her birthday, and B, because the next thing I have to say has to do with people in her age group. Everybody's so mad. Everybody's so mad. Mad. Everybody's mad at the media. Everybody's mad at each other. Everybody's mad at the politicians. Everybody's mad at everything. And I'm trying to figure out, why is it that fake news travels 6 times faster than real news? And
because it's more intriguing.
It's more intriguing.
It's more wild.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Recently, I have been on a relentless obsession with QAnon. If you are patrons on our Patreon, go to patreon.com/MBN Network, $5 a month, and you can be one. If you're not, we've already done a Patreon exclusive about QAnon and other conspiracies, mostly to do with QAnon. Me and Carl Pinnell from Might Be Tunes. Shout out to Carl Pinnell. We had a great time talking about this stuff because it is just kind of crazy. You're just like, holy shit, this is weird. But a lot of people don't understand what QAnon is, and I have been going through a lot of research about it. I find it very interesting, and one of the biggest things that I wanted to do is figure out, or not myself figure out, but I wanted to be aware of when they figure out who Q is. And I think that has happened. I think that there is a theory, a very legitimate theory of who Q is and why people should stop fucking paying attention to everything Q related right now. And the reason I feel like this is important to talk about specifically before the election, this is not to dissuade people from voting for anyone in particular for any particular reason, other than if you have been living your life for the past 2 to 3 years believing in things by this guy named Q, who you think is a top level Q level security clearance government agent, you need to pay attention to approximately the next 25 minutes of this show, because there are theories out there that are very, very plausible and very, very reasonable as to why that is certainly not the case because of who people think that Q could be. Let me just start by saying that I don't know a fucking thing about computers. I just do the best I can. Some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about here, I'm not very familiar with, and I've tried to make myself more familiar with the past couple weeks. So let's start with message boards. Do either of you know what a message board is on the internet?
Yeah.
Kev, what's a message board?
It's like I've gone on message boards, like I guess FAQ message boards, where you go on there and ask a question and somebody stumbles upon it, or whoever's a member to it answers back these questions.
Give me an example, like a Reddit.
No, not Reddit. I mean, they would pop up in my random Google searches, like if I'm trying to figure out how to unlock something in a video game or how to do a power move in a video game kind of thing.
Okay, yes.
It can literally, message boards exist in probably almost everything.
You
could have a cooking or a baking question.
Yes,
and
correct.
Literally,
like
it's
Pinterest is kind of a message board. Facebook, in a way, is a message board. Twitter too, but have either of you ever heard of 4chan or 8chan?
Yes, but only because of you.
No, never heard of it before tonight.
Okay, so 4chan is a message board. If you go to 4chan, I've never been to 4chan, but I've been on 8chan. So I'll just talk about what I know. 8chan is a message board with various different topics. Some are as innocent as origami instructions. Others are labeled specifically fuck N-words. Others are, there's one, a POL post. It's politically incorrect. It's literally a place where Nazis go and talk about Nazi things. And I'm not talking about Nazis in the term of like, oh my God, you're such a Nazi. I'm talking about like real Nazis. People who like quote unquote want to gash Jews and stuff. It's all right there. I've been there in the past couple of days. I've been digging through 8chan, just trying to understand it, Kev. Yo,
I want you to not go on there
These places are literally the last platform on the internet for straight up racist, straight up. Three of the major mass shootings in recent years all posted manifestos on 8chan. They posted that they were getting ready to go shoot up churches and Walmarts and things like that before they went on 8chan and said, hey guys, I'm going to be live streaming on my Facebook, go here. So they get people to go there, so they rip the video so that after Facebook takes it down, which everyone knew that they would, people would still have the video so that they can repost it, which is exactly what happened. Okay? 8chan, they don't monitor it like Facebook does and like, you know, whatever else, because individuals run these message boards. So message boards is where QAnon kind of started. A guy named Frederick Brennan created 8chan in 2014. And in 2017, he started working with a guy that would eventually come to own 8chan. I'll get into that in a little bit. So these message boards, there's thousands of people using it, and there's different ones for different things, like I said. And in one of these more political ones, that's kind of where Q started. Calm before the storm. Trump said this in a photo op with military generals in October 2017. Do you guys remember this at all? It was like this offhanded remark that he made in like this photo op. He's surrounded by generals. He's like, "Do you know what this is?" And the reporter's like, "What is it, sir?" He said, "Maybe it's the calm before the storm." Do you remember this?
Not really.
It was in October 2017.
I don't remember that at all.
I remember it clearly. October 28th was the first Q drop. Whenever Q goes on these message boards, it's called a Q drop. They call him Q. He calls himself Q because that's what he says. He has Q level security clearance, Kev. He knows everything. He works directly with the president, and his main objective is to drop what they call breadcrumbs for people on these message boards to then, quote unquote, bake and uncover the mysteries of his coded messages. Okay, this is real shit, Kev. I have look at this. You can see my screen. This is an actual Q drop. I went on and I've been going through his thousands of Q drops, just looking at them and how crazy this shit is. Once I found where they actually are, I'm like, oh my God. I felt like I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever. It's weird, dude. It's very, very weird.
It doesn't even make sense.
Dude, October 28th, 2017, the first Q drop on message board, POL, which stands for politically incorrect. Like I said, a literal place where actual Nazis post memes and far-right conspiracies. The first Q drop was actually a response to another conspiracy theorist posting about the arrest of Hillary Clinton. Quote, Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 a.m., 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, the morning of October 30th, 2017. In response, this is what Q said. This is the first Q drop. HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, extradition already in motion. Effective yesterday with several countries in case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged effective 10:30 at 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance of others fleeing the U.S. to occur. U.S.Ms will conduct the operation while NG activated. Proof check. Locate a NG member and ask if activated for duty 10:30 across all major cities. That was the first Q drop. Very ominous, very weird. He's asking you to go talk to a general or a what the fuck? Military personnel, but what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? The ones that stay around. National Guard members. He wants you to go to talk to a National Guard member and ask them about it and all this shit, dude. Dude, Kev, it's the craziest thing. At this point...
So is he making all this shit up in his head?
So, yeah, yes and no, okay? A lot of it is... Pizzagate goes back to this. There's
the fuck is Pizzagate?
So we talked about this already on one of the other episodes, where Pizzagate is where people were saying that
it was a hashtag started.
Hillary Clinton was running a child sex organization out of a pizza shop in Washington D.C. somewhere in Maryland, and somebody actually went to this pizza shop where they thought they were supposed to go, and brought a gun with them. There's no kids there. There's no child trafficking.
There's not even a basement, right?
There's no basement. Yeah. These
kids. We don't even have a basement.
Yo, Kev, of course there's not. Okay, stop. Just follow me for a second. You and I are pretty much logical thinking people who aren't already paranoid about crazy things.
What are you supposed to mean pretty much?
There's people out there,
Well, you're Kev, a little crazy, Kev.
Kev, this is worldwide. And that's why I'm trying to talk about it. Because it's huge. It's huge. There's so many people out there that don't even if they're not on 8chan, and that's what I'm getting ready to get to. You don't have to be on these message boards. Well, you do now. In 2019, basically for the past 3 years, you didn't have to. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. Those 4 places literally just banned QAnon this past year. The first Q drop was in 2017. So for the past 3 years, this has been growing and growing and growing. The FBI has literally called this a potential national security problem. Like, this is a problem.
Who the fuck is following this guy?
Crazy
Yo.
people.
Yo.
People who are like literally not all there, who already don't have trust in the government, and literally they follow this guy and everything he has to say. It's scary. It's absolutely scary.
So, like, our parents' generation, your parents' generation, they're very susceptible to this stuff.
Really?
Yes, Kev. When you look at who's following Q, a lot of them are like our parents' age. Holy shit, yes.
Why are they seeking him out on this random web? Like people
Paranoia. Listen to me, because I'm gonna get to all of it. Let me just tell you this: paranoia does it, Kev. You think about it. The Red Scare, the paranoia about aliens, paranoia about this, paranoia about government conspiracies, paranoia about you name it. That's where this comes from. It all plays into that. You can't. According to Q, you can't trust the mainstream media. According to Q, you have to do your own research, which usually means that you're watching news videos from people that they make them in their fucking cars. They're just sitting in their car just spewing nonsense. They don't have to be on these 8chan things. The following day, on October 29th, Q posted 9 times. He was gaining attention and more of a following with each post. I want to talk about a guy named Paul Ferber. Paul Ferber owned the message board called Calm Before the Storm. He made it shortly after the first Q drop. The CBTS is what the board was called. This is where Q would post for the foreseeable future. He's assumed at this point to be the creator of Q. He's assumed to be the original Q. This guy's from Johannesburg, South Africa. Like, he's just like some internet troll. He made this all up. Supposedly, nobody knows for sure. He's assumed to be the creator of Q. He was responsible for the initial popularity of Q. He went on InfoWars and talked about Q, and he got the help of a guy named Coleman Rogers to spread Q conspiracies across more accessible social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and most of all, Reddit. Here's a clip here.
In today's video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of how to find posts by Q on the internet and a little bit about reading.
Q uses a lot of abbreviation.
Briefly about
HC means Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of those going on.
Snow White, whenever he's talking about Snowden and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which are the CIA's secret massive computer system.
And I feel like, I know we've discussed it a lot of times, more like, well, I'm not really sure I believe that part of it, but yet I don't think he's lying to us, whoever he is.
Trust, there are words that I had never freaking heard of before this whole world.
I am 100% behind Q. He's working for the president, he's working for our country. There's things that have been going on since the assassination of JFK.
Q is the best thing that has ever happened to you. So remember this moment.
People look at this as a story that they get to be part of. It's not just a relentless drumbeat of the bad people are going to do things to you and you can't do anything about it. It's stay tuned what happens next. And it's like every so often there's a cliffhanger. Like, if it wasn't so horrible and isolating and terrible for the people who believe in it, it would be kind of an interesting example of 21st century storytelling.
So that was a clip from a podcast that I've listened to about 10 times this week called, the podcast is called the Reply All Podcast. This is episode 166 called Country of Liars. It's all about QAnon, and this is actually the podcast that's kind of broken the story of who they think Q is now. I'm going to get to that more in a second. Back to Paul Ferber. Paul Ferber went on InfoWars and basically said, like, listen, we are dealing with a massive untapped audience. We need to get engaged with the people who aren't on 8chan. So they made a Reddit page, they made a YouTube page, and Twitter and Facebook, all dedicated to Q. That's where the hashtag Save the Children stuff started coming from. That's where hashtag Where We Go One, We Go All comes from. It's all QAnon stuff. Pizzagate. It's all related to it. But on January 4th, something crazy happened. January 4th, 2018, something crazy happened. Paul Ferber says that all Q drops past January 4th are fake. Here's why. January 5th, 2018, Q's posts are slightly different. More caps, like capital letters, than usual. There's some
abbreviations.
No, like all caps. Like he's like
yelling
in the post, and he usually doesn't do that. January 5th, more caps than usual. There's some confusion, and presumably there's two people talking as Q on that day. Q calls for backup. I have a screenshot of it here. It says, Code Monkey, please log in and confirm identification. Code Monkey, once ident validated, can you provide a secure board to post under your control to prevent future issues? IP device kept the same for your verification. IP trip secured at highest level. Big events coming, Q. Basically what he's doing is he's reaching out to the person that owns 8chan or operates 8chan and asking them to verify his identity. What I failed to mention about these message boards, 4chan and 8chan specifically, is that you do not have a username. You are anonymous. No one knows who you are unless you tell them who you are. So Q had a specific trip code. That's when they say trip, that's what they mean. You have a number code and that's who you are. Maybe there's a letter or two in there, but that's just, you're very anonymous. If I was posting on there, I wouldn't be Taylor Cooper. I would just be a number and a couple letters. He's asking somebody to verify his information, and he's asking them to create a new board for him to get off of there. January 6th, Paul Ferber, whose job it is to verify Q's identity as the owner of the message board that he was on. See, when you create a message board on 8chan, you own that board. You are the moderator of that board. You are responsible for, you know who people are to some extent, not really, but you can kind of see where their computer is located, at least like IP addresses and stuff like that. But January 6th, Paul Ferber, whose job it is to verify Q's identity as the owner of the board he's posting on, calls him out. Quote, not Q. Q's second trip has been cracked as I thought it might be. Q says, false. Did they get to you? Board compromised. There will be no further posts on this board under this ID. This will verify the trip is safeguarded and in our control. This will verify this board is compromised. God bless each and every one of you. Fight, 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 Q. From this moment forward, Q only posted on the board run by Ron Watkins, otherwise known as Code Monkey, exclusively on 8chan. So from this moment forward, Q would only post on 8chan. He would never post on 4chan again. He would never post anywhere but a very specific message board on 8chan. Ron Watkins is Code Monkey. Ron Watkins is the guy who runs the overall picture of 8chan. His father is Jim Watkins. He is the owner of 8chan. He's the one who owns 8chan. He runs the servers. He runs his own internet service provider. Nobody can really trace what Jim Watkins or Ron Watkins are doing on the internet at any given time. Jim Watkins was a helicopter mechanic for the Army. He then ran servers for a Japanese porn site / message board called 2chan, which he later stole and ran as his own. He lived in the Philippines as a pig farmer during all of this. He's not a Q-level agent, but it is widely believed at this point, it's getting wider, in my opinion, by the looks of it, believed that Ron and Jim Watkins have been running Q for about the past 2 years. Let's see.
And that they stole it from that Paul guy.
They stole it from Paul Ferber. Frederick Bannon, the guy who originally created 8chan, gave it to Ron and Jim because they had the power to actually run it. like this guy just designed it. He
designed it. He couldn't afford to keep up with it.
So
it became popular like overnight.
And he has a lot of medical conditions, so they moved him down to the Philippines to live like.
He's brittle bone disease.
Why did they want it? Because he has all kinds of followers.
Because free speech, and it just like it's a website
what
that
they're
was super
seeking
popular.
is power.
Yeah,
right. Isn't that what he said?
They thought that they could. They thought that they could use the website to get money, but also Jim Watkins tried to start a right-wing, far-right news site, kind of like Breitbart. Here's a clip from that.
It's no surprise to find out that FBI agents have discovered evidence of the Clinton Foundation sending wire transfers to organization affiliated to the terror group ISIS.
Here's Jim Watkins.
Good morning. I'm Jim Cherney, and this is Hardline.
I don't know why he calls himself Jim Cherney in these, but he's in front of a bookcase wearing an ill-fitting suit.
How about the Clinton Foundation pay-for-play debacle? The FBI actually deleted that when they gave immunity to the aides of Clinton and agreed to destroy the laptops that the deletion took place on.
So that's just some of the stuff from his failed media agency called the Goldwater, which he was running in the Philippines while he was farming pigs and running 8chan. And apparently, well, Q came after the Goldwater. He failed at that and then became Q after he stole it from Paul Ferber, allegedly. But it totally makes sense to me that this guy and his son Ron would be in total control of this. First of all, I really want everybody out there to go listen to Reply All. If this is interesting to you, go check out Reply All podcast, episode number 166, Country of Liars. That's what the episode is called. It's one of the most recent episodes, so it should be pretty easy to find. Also, there's another podcast out there that I've been listening to a lot. It's called the QAnon Anonymous podcast, and it's actually really funny, but also very, very informative, and it's all about this kind of stuff. The very first episode of that is kind of like a glossary to like what all of this stuff that I'm talking about. So they will go in like super detail about 8chan, what it means, what you can find there, how to understand it a little bit better.
What can you find there?
All kinds of crazy stuff, Kev.
Just all message boards.
It's all message boards. Like, it's really hard to read. It's really hard to follow. But once you kind of get the hang of it, like I'm kind of starting
it's like
to.
really like low key.
It's very lo-fi. Like, it's like really like low budget looking. Like, it looks like a website from like the very first internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like super weird. It's not like what you're used to seeing now. It's different.
That doesn't even make sense to me why people would follow this guy.
See, so a lot of people that follow him are already paranoid about different things. A lot of people that follow him have no faith in the government, drain the swamp. In all of this, Donald Trump is like the glorified, savior of all things bad. If you dig into it, like, Donald Trump is in office really just to expose pedophiles and lock up Hillary Clinton and things like that, destroy the evil cabal, as they call it. The Great Awakening is when people like us get what they call red-pilled, which is exposed to the truth. And that's the goal, is like one of the episodes of the QAnon Anonymous podcast, number 114, Undercover at QCon, the three hosts of this show traveled to go to a thing called QCon, which is basically a conference for all these Q fanatics. And there's individuals that are like big time personalities in all this, that are constantly posting about all of it, are constantly on these message boards. But they made videos before they were kicked off of YouTube. They made tweets, big time tweets, before they got kicked off. I mean, there's politicians running in different places in this country, Kev, that fully endorse this stuff. Believe it or not. Like, there's people out there that are just like, oh yeah, I'm a QAnon person. Like, oh yeah, definitely. It's crazy, dude. And like I said, I just kind of wanted to bring some of this stuff up. because of how crazy it is and because of how like angry everybody is these days, man. Like I see so much bullshit posted on Facebook, and like I would be the first one to tell you that other sites, like super liberal sites like the other 98% and things like that, they post a lot of bullshit too. And you know, I'm not saying that this is that the right is the only place where shit like this happens, because it's definitely not. But this is something that is spreading. This is something that has a chance to really affect the way that our democracy works, and it's being run by a fucking Japanese porno pig farming piece of shit that really is a fucking weirdo. The more I learn about Jim Watkins, the more I'm just like, this guy is truly evil and truly wild. I'm gonna play you guys a clip before we just move on. From the QAnon Anonymous podcast, episode 114, Undercover at QCon. This is Jim Watkins addressing a group of loyal Q followers. Jim Watkins just recently started going to things like this. He's not into going to things like this. They also are selling a bunch of Q merchandise on 8chan. So like it all works out, dude. This guy's making a ton of money off of the paranoia and the fear of countless people in this world right now. It's really crazy. Here's the last clip I'm going to play from you guys. This is from the QAnon Anonymous podcast.
Jim cuts a strange figure against the beige conference room wall. A middle-aged man with bearded jowls. It appears someone shoved him into a yellow 8kun t-shirt. It says join or 404. He is the owner of the message board that Q calls home. His disposition masks a deep contempt, and engaging in niceties seems physically painful for him. He breaks into a strange falsetto when doing so. After some fumbling, Jim launches into his written speech.
We can't go back and change the past. If we could, though, would you change? Surely, we have all made stupid mistakes. Things that are laughable now, but at the time were soul-wrenching. Hardly anyone would choose to change one of these events. You only get one shot, chance, opportunity to make that change, so you have to choose just the right one to touch for maximum impact. Perhaps there's a loved one burned into your memory you could save them. Then whatever unfortunate end they come to would never have happened. In the end, they will be gone, so will you. Would removing whatever memory you possess of their ending make the world a better place?
After this, Jim asks you to think harder, specifically about assassination.
Think harder. What about removing someone from history that caused suffering to massive amounts of people? Brutal leaders might get your attention next. Since you seem to have this history-changing power as a one-time use, then it's gone. You start looking at historical events harder. Maybe you could assassinate Hitler or Pol Pot. Perhaps you could remove someone. Who would you remove? You know. Perhaps you could remove someone who took even more lives. How about Mao or Stalin? Their body counts are the highest in modern history. However, when you look at these events that changed the world because of these monsters, if Hitler hadn't been responsible for the Holocaust, would the modern state of Israel exist? If Joe hadn't killed so many of those intelligent folks in the Soviet Union, would the United States have won the space race? Would the Berlin Wall have fell? It is a troubling thought, so maybe we ought to move on, scrolling back farther in time. Who would you remove? What about Genghis Khan? He rolled over a big part of the world. Many of you may be related to him. His pastimes included hunting and sleeping with the traumatized wives of the nobility he killed in front of them.
Jim continues by making a full-throated defense of colonialism and genocide.
There are a few people in history that most of us have as common ancestors. So, well, maybe we shouldn't kill the Khan or Charlemagne. As our one change to history, what about others? Why not just sink Magellan's ship before word got back to Europe? Or maybe burn his ship and leave the crew with the Filipino after Lapu-Lapu murdered Magellan? The history of Southeast Asia could have been completely different, and surely Europe would have had a different destiny. Of course, they would have eventually found their way around the world, but it would have been given some lands conquered by the Spanish and Portuguese time to develop on their own. Their culture might have survived. Would that have stopped Colonel Funston from killing all the boys over the age of 10 because they might be enemy combatants? Or maybe we could just stop them from happening by stopping Queen Isabella from sending Columbus across the ocean blue in 1492. But then none of us would be here now. I guess dwelling on and trying to change the past is not a useful way for us to spend the day. We will have better luck and results if we learn from the mistakes of the past and use our knowledge to touch the present, thus writing a better future for all of us. The past is for our learning. We can only touch the present. Our future is not written. In fact, it exists in multiple versions. Please do the right thing and choose the most optimal version of the future to follow as your path. You only experience consciously the path you choose, so don't dwell in the I would've, I should've, I could've melancholy mentality. That world of second guessing your past actions, individually, our actions may not have much effect on the future, but in the words of Captain Planet, let our powers combine.
Yo, just flat out crazy shit. He's basically urging subliminally people to go out and kill people. Did you hear him say, who would you remove? And somebody in the crowd straight up said Hillary. If you're listening and you didn't catch it, rewind, and come right back.
I can honestly say if I was ever like at a seminar or something like that with that guy there talking,
yeah,
I would straight up fall asleep in like 4 seconds. It is the biggest bore fest, and I'm just like,
his voice is awful, right?
Awful,
dude.
Like he's like
terrible.
I don't know. Like he just doesn't. Something's up with his voice.
How does this make you guys feel before we just move on? I mean, like, is it all crazy? Is it bullshit to you, or like, am I wasting our time?
It's not bullshit, but I mean, it's good to get the word out there. But I don't want you to like do any more deep dives.
The election.
No more deep dives.
The election's over tomorrow. Well, at the end of this week, it could be the end of the week before we know who the president is, or even a week or two.
On your question, I want to say 2 things.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to start off with that is stupid. I want to use a certain R word to describe it. Like I want to like that guy's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot. But I sat there and said, oh, whatever. The coronavirus is never going to happen. It's never going to come to the U.S. And then look what happened. So, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how to feel about anything anymore.
What are feelings?
Well, I want this show to be fun, but I also want it to be a platform to talk about things that are fucking crazy and out there. You know, somebody asked me, do you even know anybody who is into this? And I'm like, I've seen a lot of people post things that this guy has mentioned. Whether they know that this guy mentioned it or not, I've seen it.
It all starts somewhere.
It starts somewhere.
So
and
if it's starting from
corners.
him,
It's the
and
darkest
then
corner.
spreading, and people are sharing it, and they're acting like it's fact when it's not. It's scary.
So I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to do what's the point, but I'm going to switch things up. Here we go. Here's what's the point.
What's the point? Is there a point to this? What is your point?
Are you just gonna sit there and look stupid?
Real quick, just to end this whole thing, my point for this week is going to be just get your news from the whatever source that you choose. But I urge you to, if you are checking the news, if you are getting into the news, if you want to check your facts, I urge you to check out the most nonpartisan places that you can find. I mean, just type in Google.
Check your news out on 8chan. That's it.
Go to 8chan.
Perfect.
Go to 8chan.
Nailed it, Kev. Nailed it.
Perfect advice, Kev. No, seriously, just like I personally, I like NPR, I like BBC, I like USA Today, but I don't read things that start out with opinion. Most of these credible news sources, if it's an opinion article, they say in big bold letters before you read anything else, opinion. So I don't usually read those things. I read the news. So that's where I try to get the information. I do deep dives on things that interest me, and this really interested me. And I really hope that in the near future they really can prove that these two guys are QAnon and that people see that they're not following breadcrumbs from a fucking guy who is in the government, but this guy is literally a pig farmer, pornographic hate speech fucking enthusiast. Like, it's ridiculous. So, because you can find all kinds of child porn and shit on 8chan, like you can find all kinds of crazy, terrible things, and this guy totally lets it
and
happen.
now your phone shows that you've been on 8chan.
I have been on 8chan.
Yes.
Not on any child porn sites. I didn't find any, but I've heard that there is shit out there.
Rumor has it.
Well, it's like it's huge. The thing is huge. There's endless lists of things you can do.
Huge. It's huge.
And I just scratched the surface and went after what I was looking for, which was QAnon related things. So, anyway, Kev, what's your point?
Mine's a little more laid back than yours.
Good.
Let's lighten the mood.
A little bit. No, I just something that I feel like a lot of parents went through when this episode comes out, went through last week, is the whole trick or treat thing.
Yeah.
And trick or treat with coronavirus.
Yeah.
On how that looks. I mean, I've heard of people coming up with all these crazy, intricate ways to hand out candy now. Like, people are mounting, like, if you have to go up steps to a front door, people are mounting PVC pipes to their railings so they can put the piece of candy in and slide it down so they don't have to come into contact with all these people, kind of thing. But if you really think about it, it's not really doing anything by people taking all these precautions, because you're still grabbing something with your hands, or that you've touched once with your hands, and handing it off to somebody else that they're going to go and put that in their mouth and eat it. It's just, I think it is completely absurd. And with this whole coronavirus thing, if people really want to keep numbers down, don't fucking have trick or treat. Don't do it. Don't do it, people.
Well, my thing too is with Halloween, like, it's like the one, I don't know if you want to call it a holiday, but it's like the one thing where most people are already wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And they're trying to stop it. Yeah. We just got a thing on our door today saying, like, if you plan on having, like, if you want to let people, because we live in an apartment complex.
Okay.
So you can't just leave a porch light on for kids to know to come trick-or-treating. So you basically hang this orange sign on your door, and that indicates to children that you're offering candy.
Okay.
Because I think in the township we're in, they aren't stopping trick-or-treating.
Dude, I guess it's all discretion. I mean, we're not going through the neighborhood to go trick-or-treating. We're actually going over to my sister's house and doing like a Easter egg hunt type thing. We're going to hide pieces of skeleton places, and we already spray painted them so the kids know whose is whose, and you find that, and then you get candy. I mean, I don't want to deal with the whole coronavirus.
I thought about that with my family, like, well, but I think most are doing trick-or-treating in like their neighborhood. Like,
it's still bad.
Yeah,
it's still bad. You're still coming into contact with people on a daily, or that you don't come in contact with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming to grips with, like, the holidays are going to really suck this year. Like, we're just, like, slowly coming to grips with just, like
it might just be me and Taylor for Thanksgiving.
It just might be the two of us for Thanksgiving.
We're going to make, like, a 20-pound turkey. Have
leftovers
for life.
Tomorrow, we don't have kids, so we're just going to get drunk
Yeah.
We're gonna drink all day for Halloween and do a murder mystery in a box. We got a murder mystery in a box.
We got these murder mystery games in a box. It's so cool. It gives you all these clues and this backstory and all these witnesses, and we have to piece it all together. And then you go to a website and you type in who do you think is the guilty person, and then it's supposed to tell you if you're right or wrong.
Sounds like fun.
So that's what we're doing tomorrow night.
Yeah, we got a bunch of beer.
We have a bunch of candy, and we're not giving it out.
Sounds like Taylor.
But
you have one Reese's cup and you fucking make it last.
Yes. I made him. He wanted to get because we were at Walmart the other day, and I was like, I know you want candy, so we should get candy. And he wanted to get it was just going to be Kit Kats and Reese's peanut butter cups, and I was like, can we get something with a little bit more variety? Please.
So I have a new favorite candy bar.
Oh, what is it?
Take 5.
Oh.
Well, those are good. It's been a while since I've had one. Dude. I had 100 grand the other day, and I was like, I forgot how good these are.
Yeah,
they're good. They're good, but you got to get the salty, the sweet, and a good crunch, but not too much of a crunch.
So is it pretzels? Is it a pretzel in Take 5?
Yeah.
Pretzel,
Yeah? Okay.
pretzel with like caramel and chocolate and peanut butter.
Yeah, it's got like everything.
Yeah, dude.
Sometimes I don't want salty with my chocolate. You ever get chocolates and they have like the sea salt on top? I had it one time. It ruined it. It was too. It was too much salt. It was too much salt.
Have you had like good caramel with sea salt?
Probably.
Dude, it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, we've had that. We've had it before. It's really good.
Makes me real thirsty.
Yeah.
like I just feel like I'm just dehydrating listening to all the salt.
Jackie, what's your point?
I was actually going to stick on kind of the theme of Halloween. So tonight we're recording, and it's technically Mischief Night. And I was curious if anyone here's ever done any mischief on Mischief Night. I have not, but I have done mischief, but just never on Mischief Night because I was such a chicken.
No, I never really have.
Did you ever go and TP anyone's house or egg them or ding dong?
But not on Mischief Night.
You're right. Okay. I was just curious. Well, it doesn't have to be just, it just made me think about it because it is Mischief Night if anyone's ever gone and done some mischief.
I have. I've toilet papered somebody's house on Mischief Night.
Oh, God. We tortured neighbors.
I've done that not on Mischief Night, but on a Mischief
Yes.
Night. I've
a
done
night that
well.
you were feeling mischievous.
I was like, oh, you know what? Fuck it. It's Mischief Night. I've never done anything on Mischief Night. I'm right down the street from somebody that I know. You know what I mean? So if they came out, they probably wouldn't be as mad. You know what I mean? I knew the parents of the people. You know what I'm saying? And so I just went up there and TP'd their house in the middle of the night. I never got caught, and I still to this day don't even think they know that it was ever me.
Dude, we ding-donged at somebody one time, and we were literally hiding behind a bush. We all wore baggy clothes because we were it was just me, my sister, and a couple of friends, and we wore the baggiest clothes we could find. Mm-hmm. Because if people saw us running away or walking away, they would think we were boys instead of girls, so that we wouldn't get caught. And the one time we rang somebody's doorbell so many times in a night that they called the cops.
Oh wow!
And I think it was somewhere between 3 to 5 cop cars. I can't remember. It was either 3 or 5. Went up the street. And we were sitting outside, and the cops stopped, and they asked us, and we're like, no, someone kept doing it to us. That's why we're sitting outside. That's what we told them. We're somebody kept ringing our doorbell.
You sly lion sacker.
Yeah, we went, we changed our clothes, and we were just sitting literally outside, not far from the street. And when the cops drove up and they asked us, we're like, no, someone kept doing it to us. So we just were sitting out here, see if they come back or not,
Wow.
And because you're girls.
Yeah, they
nobody
believed us.
cared.
Nope, they didn't care.
What a world, Kev.
No, we were literally, but it was so funny. We were hiding behind a bush. You could see the front door light on, right? And this bush wasn't very big. And there was at least 2 of us because the other people were able to run in time. But 2 of us got stuck. And we were trying so hard not to laugh because it was hilarious. But you still didn't want to get caught.
That's funny.
But yeah. Middle school, man.
Here we go with late review. I know it's a little late, but
You're just hearing about this?
Can't believe I'm just hearing. Why didn't I know about this sooner?
Try again.
For my review, this was going to be my point, but I'm just gonna review it instead. Well, I just wanted to tie things together with my point.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
We get it.
I just wanted to tie things together. My review, Kev, you saw Jackie and I drinking these shakes, these chocolate drinks before the show.
Yeah.
You were asking about it. So my mom, again, shout out mom, happy birthday. I hope you like the QAnon segment. She was here the past weekend. Came for a very short visit. Very nice. Hadn't seen her almost a year.
Yeah.
But she got me hooked on these shakes and these drinks that I'm drinking right now. I'll start with this drink because it's going to be less impressive to you, Kev. The drink is 1 part apple cider vinegar.
Tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, tablespoon of aloe vera juice, and a tablespoon of
ginger juice.
Yes.
And then you put some Crystal Light powder in there.
Like the little
powder
flavor
drink
packets.
Things, you know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
And then fill it with water. And this shit is bang bang, dude. Shit is bang bang, and it helps your stomach. It helps kind of,
supposed to heal you.
Heal your insides a little bit. It's really nice. It tastes really good. It
tastes literally we're drinking fruit punch right now.
And actually, the vinegar isn't too powerful. If anything, the vinegar almost like gives it a little bit of a kick, almost like a soda would have. You know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of like gets you in the back of your throat a little bit, but it's not like, oh my God, this is vinegar. I do 32 ounces of this twice a day. It's really, really good. I've done it all week. The shake that you saw us drinking before the show.
Kevin's going to blow your mind.
The shake has a cup of okra.
Frozen okra.
It's
a vegetable, Kev.
It's a vegetable. A cup of water and a bunch of powders and chocolate
Other
stuff.
things you mix in. We put in like a protein powder.
Other healthy
chocolate
stuff.
Flavored. And
jam-packed with vitamins and nutrients.
Basically drinking a chocolate shake.
Yo, you grind this shit up to oblivion. And it's like you for real are drinking a chocolate shake. I've had, Kev, well, we split the shake this week, but next week we're going to do a whole thing.
We'll do our whole thing.
I've had technically half a cup of vegetables after dinner every night this week, Kev. And for those of the people out there that know me and listen to me and have known me for a long time or a short time.
The world is ending.
True signs of the apocalypse. Okay, the election tomorrow, and I've had a cup of vegetables every night for the past week.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Kev, like as a person who does like vegetables, you cannot taste vegetable in this.
Yo, Kev, you should have one. I'll have you come over here. You make it last. I'll give you some.
Seriously, I honestly think you wouldn't be able to tell.
I like it a lot, Kev. It's grown on me. The first night I had it, I was like, yeah, okay, this is okay. This is good. And then
we've done things to tweak it to make it more tolerable, like adding ice to make it colder.
I mean, I don't know if like I can really like just come out and say it's an instant classic, but I've had vegetables every night this week. So.
What do you rate it on a scale?
I mean, if I had to, like, for real, like the vinegar drink, that's a 10 out of 10, like instant classic. I've had a couple different flavors now. I've had the limeade, the lime cherry,
the black cherry flavor.
I've had a black cherry lime, and a fruit punch, and they're all really good. I actually like look forward to this drink. The shake, I don't like look forward to it, but I don't avoid it. So
he actually makes them.
I make them.
While I'm napping on the couch.
Yeah. And it's like
because it's like 8 o'clock at night.
I thoroughly enjoy both. I feel better. Like I've had some health issues this summer. I didn't get into next time, Kev. Get ready because next time I'll talk to you about it on the point. I have a good point for next time. Oh. Remind me.
Okay. Okay.
Because I wanted you to be on the show when I talk about it. Some of my issues this summer, but. Did
you have poopy issues?
I've been feeling a lot better. I've been feeling a lot better, dude.
Such a child.
This week's been good. So yeah, I've been eating vegetables. Well, I've been drinking vegetables.
Yeah. Kev, what are you reviewing?
The new Terminator movie.
Dark Fate.
What's that?
Dark Fate.
Dark Fate.
Right? Yeah.
Dark Fate, dude. I was the first 5 minutes of that when Sarah Connor's sitting there with John Connor on the beach or whatever, and John goes up to the bar, and then Arnold comes around the corner, or a Terminator that's not Arnold, but looks like him, and fucking blows him to oblivion.
Yeah.
That is the most incredible and realistic CGI I've ever seen in my life. Like because it was a cool scene. I rewound it and watched it again. But after I watched it the second time, I was like, holy shit, that's CGI.
Yeah. But like on Arnold, you mean? Or
no, on everybody.
Yeah.
Because that movie is a recent movie.
Yeah.
Sarah Connor is not that old or that young. John Connor is not that young anymore.
Which actor was it that played John Connor? Was it the one?
It was computer. It was computer.
No. But was it the actor's face from the second Terminator?
Yeah.
From Judgment Day.
Okay.
And think about how young Arnold looked in that scene. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean the new what's it called? Bad guy Terminator was super dope. How they could split into two different fucking Terminators.
Yeah.
Super dope. But the storyline, I mean, it was a storyline. So if I had to rate it, I'd give it like a 7, 8.
It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable.
We also just watched it, and we were both like, this is surprisingly better than what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it didn't do well.
It didn't do well in theaters.
Yeah.
I did it do better or worse though than Genesis?
I think it was like, I think both of them were bombs, and that's why.
Yeah.
Like there isn't any plans to my knowledge of another Terminator movie right now.
The one question that gets brought up, and it's gonna pop up somewhere in my Facebook memories at some point. I just don't remember what part of the year it was and what year it was. But my brother and I were talking about it one time. What came first? You basically don't have John Connor without Kyle Reese, right? That's supposed to be his dad.
That's his dad.
But he sends his dad back to save his mom. But how is he born? like think about it. Who came first, Kyle Reese or John Connor?
There is no question. There is
You
no
have
answer.
to answer it.
There is no answer.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
It's got to be
the same question.
John Connor came first.
Actually, the egg came first.
John Connor is the immaculate child.
But Kyle Reese is his dad.
Kyle
Jackie,
Reese
the egg
Kyle
came
Reese
first.
is also.
How do you know?
Because something had to lay it. It just didn't come from a chicken.
Kyle Reese
You
is
laid the
also.
egg.
Kyle Reese is also an immaculate child.
I'm an immaculate child.
That's one opinion.
So wait, I'm sorry, Kev. What did you say you rated that movie?
Let's go 7.5. 8.
Okay.
Jackie, what do you got?
Well, we just watched a really cute kind of holiday film. It covers all the holidays though.
It
so
does.
it's
It
not
does.
it's not just a Christmas.
No, it's not.
Called Holiday on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw a preview for this.
It was actually better than we thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be like ultra corny.
It's really good.
Sappy, but it's actually really good. I
funny.
laughed out loud at parts.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably give it an 8.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that.
But it's got Emma Roberts. What's the other guy's name?
I don't know.
We said he was like a B.
Jack Hemsworth. It's Jack Hemsworth.
He's basically, he sounds like Chris Hemsworth. But
you can look him up on IMDb.
Stop
Jack
it.
Hemsworth. He was really good in the movie. Selena Gomez's husband.
No, stop.
It's
Stop it.
He was really
I don't
good.
even
in
know
the
you're
movie.
talking about.
They've been dating for a while. I don't know if they're married though.
His name is
Hemsworth and Selena Gomez.
Jack
Luke-
Hemsworth.
Luke Bracey.
Luke Bracey Hemsworth. That's what, I thought that's what it was. She corrected me. Yeah.
Kristen Chenoweth and Frances Fisher. Frances Fisher was the lady that played Rose's mom in the Titanic.
What's his name?
Who's the guy that played Jack Hemsworth?
No. Luke Bracey Hemsworth is his name.
No, stop.
Luke Bracey Hemsworth.
Is his name.
That's Selena Gomez's cousin.
No. You see him?
Jack Hemsworth.
Right.
He sounds he definitely sounds like Chris Hemsworth.
He definitely sounds like
if you close your eyes, you almost think that's who you're hearing. So this guy definitely has to be from. Yep, he was born in Sydney, Australia.
And look at the most recent. Look at the most recent People magazine. He's definitely dating Selena Gomez.
Oh my God.
Okay.
No one is dating Selena Gomez. Stop trying to
Luke
ship
Hemsworth
people.
is.
You stop. Luke Hemsworth is not dating Selena.
It's all right, guys. I know what's going on. It's out there. It's okay.
He knows. It's all that QAnon.
I get neutral news. You know what I mean?
Either way, check it out. Holidate. It was really funny, and it literally is just these people who decide to just be each other's date on the holidays so that they're not alone and that people don't try to keep setting them up. It's really good.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I did too. And you're right. It does. It covers all holidays.
All the holidays.
It's not just
Christmas
or anything. Yeah. It covers even Halloween and stuff.
They do Halloween.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, ask a question.
Is that a rap?
Is what rap?
Rap.
Oh,
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, B.
God, Kev, bye.
I'm going to put in my butt and twist it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening this week. Make sure you go to mbnnetwork.com. There's no QAnon stuff. Actually, there is. Go and check out the merch. There's a brand new FUQ hoodie on there, along with the dumb fucks. If you just pronounce FUQ very slowly, it says fuck you. It's pretty clever. It's pretty clever. But anyway, mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new podcast, your new favorite podcast. We're sponsored by Eunomia CBD. Go to eunomiacbd.com. Use promo code MBN. Use promo code MBN. Get 20% off. Free shipping and free shit. Kev, you did a fantastic job tonight.
Oh, wow. That's a first.
Just because Danny's not here.
You did a fantastic job. Thank you for listening to my bullshit and all the hard research that I've done and appreciating it a little bit. Jackie, you also did fantastic tonight.
Thank
you. Excellent job to both of you. Thank you guys for listening.
Go out and vote.
Good luck on Election Day. Go out and vote. Peace out, everybody. Peace out, Kev.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace out, Jackie. All right, guys. Go vote. See you guys next time.